ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। So here, as you can see, in the last verse, Lord Kapila described about all other processes in order to be successful. They are required to be mixed with devotional service. Devotional service, on the other hand, is completely independent. It does not require karma, jnana or yoga. Karma, jnana and yoga, on the other hand, even to yield their desired result, require mixture of bhakti. So that means there are two types of devotional service. One is called mixed, another is called pure. So Lord Kapila had earlier described about mixed devotional service. He had also described about unmixed, uncontaminated, pure devotional service. So here in this verse, Prabhupada is explaining pure devotional service. It is like the main river which is flowing towards the ocean, and all other, they're all like different branches of the different rivers which comes and unites with this main river, and then it flows towards the ocean. So, right in the beginning, Prabhupada is saying, the process of bhakti yoga, devotional service, is the main river flowing down towards the sea of the absolute truth. And all other processes mentioned are just like tributaries. So they're all like different branches, they come and join, and then it goes towards the ocean. So Prabhupada explains that actually pure devotional service, or the path of devotional service, is one without second. There are not many types of devotional services. Devotional service is only one without second. Our mentalities are multiple. Devotional service is one. Our mentalities are multiple because of being influenced by the modes of material nature. Someone may be predominantly influenced by tamogun, and he may also take to devotional service. Somebody may be influenced by rajogun, he may also take to devotional service. Somebody may be influenced by goodness, sattva gun, he may also take to devotional service. So because three modes of material nature affect us, the process we take is also affected. Prabhupada explains this. There are 9 very important aspects of devotional service. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma Nivedanam. So these are the 9 very important parts of devotional service. Now each 9 of them can be practiced in different modes. Shravanam can be in Rajogun, Shravanam can be in Tamogun, and Shravanam can be in Sattvagun also. Similarly, chanting can also be influenced by Rajogun, Tamogun and Sattvagun. So Prabhupada says that is why 9 into 9, 81, like that. Multiple shades of devotional service you can find. Sometimes we wonder how they are all practicing devotional service, but still we find, there is a difference in what Bhagavatam is saying is pure devotional service. So, if someone, even though influenced by 3 modes of material nature, if he follows the direction of the spiritual master and performs the devotional service under his direction for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is pure devotional service. The devotee may be influenced by Rajogun, Tamogun, Sattvagun, it does not matter. But if he performs the devotional activity under the direction of the spiritual master, without personal motivation, only for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it is pure devotional service. So Prabhupada says, actually path of devotional service is one without a second, but according to devotees' condition, devotional service appears in multifarious varieties. So, in the previous chapters, we find Lord Kapila has already described that. In 29th chapter, beginning from 8th shloka, Lord Kapila described this 4 chaturvidha, 4 varieties of devotional service. So first he describes when a devotee is influenced by tamoguna, then what will happen? He will perform devotional service like this. How he will perform? Himsam. He will be very violent. Dambham. He will be very proud. You see, that is how we find that in spite of so many years, sometimes devotees fail to change because they practice under these modes only. He is practicing devotional service, but he is proud. Practicing devotional service, he may be violent, wants to harm even other devotees. So, himsam, dambham, matsaryam, very common, enviousness. Same mentality, like material mentality. When somebody else is advancing, somebody is flourishing in his service, immediately matsarya comes, mentality of enviousness. Actually, Vaikuntha, Prabhupada explains, mentality means if somebody is doing good, the devotee becomes very inspired. Oh, he is doing so nicely. I should also learn from him. I should also do nicely. Isn't it? Whereas in the material world, material mentality is if somebody is doing, we want to put obstruction into that. Anger. Samrambhi. So himsam, dambham, matsaryam, samrambhi. Samrambhi means in anger. So, and how are these devotional service performed? Bhinnadrik. Bhinnadrik means his vision, his understanding is different from Supreme Lord's interest. His interest is different from the interest of the spiritual master or the Supreme Lord. Spiritual master interest is the same. What is Krishna's interest, we may not know directly. It is through the spiritual master we come to know what will please Krishna and what will not please him. So if we do it under his guidance, then it is pure devotional service. So if it is performed without understanding what Krishna desires, what my spiritual master desires, then it is called Bhinnadrik, separatist, separate vision he has got. Krishna has a certain vision, spiritual master has a certain vision, and this devotee has different vision. So this is the understanding. So in that purport, Prabhupada explains this very important point. To act under the direction of a bona fide spiritual master with a motive to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pure devotional service. But if one has a motive for personal sense gratification, his devotional service is manifested differently. Such a man may be violent, proud, envious and angry, and his interests are separate from the Lord. You see? So this is in Tamoguna, this is in darkness. Next, in the next shloka, 9th shloka, 29th chapter, 9th shloka, then Krishna explains about Rajoguna. The worship of deities in the temple by a separatist, here he is called Prathak Bhavaha. So Prabhupada explains Bhinnadrik and Prathak Bhava, same. They are all having separatist mentality. Worship of a deity in the temple by a separatist with a motive for material enjoyment, fame and opulence is devotion in mode of passion. You see? Vishayan abhi sannidhaya yashaha aishwaryam evava archa adau archayet yaha mam prathak bhavaha sarajasaha. He is performing that in the... So Prabhupada is explaining in the purport, the word separatist must be understood carefully. This Sanskrit word are Bhinnadrik and Pratak Bhavaha. Separatist is one who sees his interest as separate from that of the Supreme Lord. What is the main mentality Prabhupada explains is, he is thinking the Supreme Lord is my order supplier. I am supposed to pray to him and he is supposed to supply me what I desire, what I want. My dear Lord, I have been your devotee for so many years. You have not solved this problem. So that means God is our order supplier. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is different. He is saying differently. He is saying whether you embrace me or you don't, still you are my worshipable Lord. So it's not that only if you do this, then only, you are reciprocating my bhakti. Otherwise, why so many years I have been praying, you are not reciprocating at all. Isn't it? That is Bhinnadrik. That means thinking that I have done devotional service and God must satisfy as I want, as I have desired, as I have perceived. I want the God to see as I see. No. His vision is absolute. Our vision, it is not absolute. How I see, it is not absolute. It is tinged with different material dirt. We have to align our vision with the vision of the Lord. Not that the Lord has to align his vision according to my desire. That is not pure devotional service. Otherwise, if we say Arjuna was talking big words like a big Pandita, looks like what he is saying is correct. He is telling, my dear Lord, you also will be, and I also, both will be considered to be sinful. He is dragging Krishna also, because Krishna is supposed to be friend, guide of Arjuna. Asmabhihi, he is saying. So Prabhupada explains that. Isn't it? So he wanted the Lord to align with his vision. And he is speaking big philosophy about that. But then Krishna is explaining what he desires. And very logically, very patiently, Krishna spoke the whole Bhagavad Gita to align Arjuna with his desire. And finally Krishna asked him, yes, now Arjuna, what do you want to do? Even after speaking the whole Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is not telling you, do like this. Krishna is asking, now what do you want to do? And then Arjuna is saying, yes, my dear Lord, Karishye Vachanam Tava, I have understood. I will do. Prabhupada says, from no man, Arjuna became yes man. In the beginning he was no man, different, so many no's. But then finally, yes, I will do. So this is the meaning of separatist mentality, Prabhupada explains. Mixed devotees in mode of passion and ignorance, think interest of Supreme Lord is supplying the order of devotee. The interest of such devotees to draw from the Lord as much as possible for their sense gratification. This is the separatist mentality. So pure devotee does not desire any of these things. Then, in the mode of goodness, karma nirharam udishya parasminva tad arpanam yachet yast avyam itiva pratak bhavah sa satvikaha. Even in sattva guna, it is still pratak bhava. He has become little bit more aligned towards the Lord, but still he has a separatist mentality. He wants to enjoy, be happy following the scriptures in the material world. You see, he becomes bound by the happiness which comes out of following the path of Sattva Guna. You see, peaceful, Shanta, all those things. Not much suffering in the material world. You see. So, he is still Pratak Bhava. So, what is that? Prabhupada says, when a devotee worships the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offers the results of his activities in order to free himself from the inhabitudes of fruitive activities, his devotion is in the mode of goodness. So here Prabhupada explains he is following the 4 varnas and ashrama. He is following the varnashrama system, and they have their respective duties to perform for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When such activities are performed and the results are offered to the Supreme Lord, they are called karma arpanam. Duties performed for the satisfaction of the Lord. If there is any inability or fault, it is atoned for by this offering process. But if this offering process is in the mode of goodness rather than in pure devotion, then the interest is different. You see, it may be in the mode of goodness. It is not still in the interest of the Supreme Lord. His interest is still different. Just like Prabhupada gives the example, Yudhishthir Maharaj as a king or as a person who is following the moral principles, setting the example of a great king. When the Lord asked him that you speak a lie, he hesitated to speak a lie. You see. Whereas we find in the examples of the gopis, they broke even so-called moral principles in order to satisfy Krishna. That is the example of pure devotional service. They did not bother. Even Krishna said that you have come in the dead of the night. When you go back, your husbands may not even accept you. You see? So you better go back. So we can see the gopis, so-called moral principles of the material world, they never bothered about any of them. Their action was only to satisfy Krishna, not just carried over by duties of the material world. Yes, I am very good, I will carry out all my duties, I will offer the result to the Lord, everything. But if the Lord is telling me to do something which looks like immoral, that I cannot do. That is still not pure devotional service. That is the meaning of that. So, this is how the 3 different processes of devotional service and Anya Abhilashita Shunyam Jnana Karmadi Anavratam, as Rupa Goswami has defined, that devotional service which is performed without any motivation, without any desire specifically for karma and jnana, and it is performed favorably to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is called as pure devotional service of the Lord. So that is what the Lord has described, the 4 categories of devotional service. Another important point which Lord Kapila has previously explained and which he is summarizing here is the kalasya cha akhyata gate. How the living entity becomes so bewildered that he cannot see the passing time. Sometimes it may strike us when we see our old photographs. Sometimes, you take photographs and then you see your old photograph. Oh, I was like this. How times have changed. Sometimes it just momentarily strikes us. Times have changed. Or when, let us say, some devotee you have met many years back, and then you suddenly, the devotee comes and you see completely he's changed. Oh, you've grown up so much. Let us say you saw, just like some devotee's son is there, and somebody after 10 years sees him, oh, and then he says, you've grown up so much. How time has passed, isn't it? Momentarily it may strike us. But actually, alertness in devotional service means every moment. Every moment one should be aware. Time is passing by. You see. So, there is a very nice anecdote of Srila Prabhupada, how he explains about this passing of the time. So this is, Prabhupada was traveling in India with some of his disciples. So the train, it was moving in a countryside, that means village side. So one devotee, while going in the train, asked Prabhupada, what is the purpose of life and how to progress in devotional service despite the distractions of material nature? So somebody asked, so one of the disciples asked Prabhupada that what is the purpose of life, how to progress in devotional service, that in spite of or despite there are so many distractions in the material nature. So Prabhupada, that train had come to a halt at one of the station, at a nearby station. So Prabhupada said, just see, people are so busy running here and there. You can see that platform when you see how people are rushing like this, moving here and there. People are so busy running here and there, making plans to enjoy material life. But time is moving on. They do not know that death will come soon. They are like passengers on a train, but they do not know where the destination is. You see, you sit in a train, you must know where you are getting down, where your destination is. Anybody sits on a train without knowing destination? So madman. Somebody goes inside a train and you ask him, where are you going? I don't know. Then you understand something is wrong with him. Anybody in the train, he has a destination. But these are the passenger, they have boarded the train, they have no destination. So people are not knowing, death will come. What is the purpose of my life? What am I going to achieve? So this is very subtle. Lord Kapila is saying, this is very important to understand. Time is passing, it is imperceptible. You cannot make out. Very difficult. This is the strength of Maya. Things are moving on, going on. People are dying. My grandfather died, my father died, this happened, that happened. Momentarily we are, we become little renounced. Later on everything becomes normal, goes on. See? You see? So, it's very important to understand these whole lessons which Lord Kapila has explained about how time is chasing behind the living entity and the living entity does not understand. Cannot understand. Imperceptibly time is passing. So Bhagavatam gives the example, the example is given by Jada Bharat when he gives the example of the living entity trying to enjoy the material forest. So he gives the example that death is like the roaring of a lion. And then suppose there is a deer and a lion is roaring and the deer, he tries to take shelter of some animals which are subject to also be eaten away by the lion. So the example is given that animal takes shelter of cranes, he takes shelter of some birds, or he takes shelter of eagle, as if just by taking their shelter he will be able to escape death. That is not possible. So mrityu sarva harascha aham. Krishna says this time wheel which is going on, it is the Supreme Lord. And the real effect of time is haras sarva. Everything will be taken away. So this at least devotee realizes, and we don't have to be afraid. Karmis, they don't want to realize because they will become afraid. They don't want to realize. That is why you will find in normal orthodox family, if you talk about death or something, hey, don't talk about all these things. It is just like cat is closing the eyes. The cat is closing the eye. When somebody goes to catch the cat or something, it is drinking the milk. So it just closes the eyes. So just by closing the eye to the reality does not go away. Isn't it? So devotees do not become afraid, but they become alert. That is the difference. They become alert. The time will pass by. I have a scheduled time. This time, let me invest in Krishna consciousness. Even little investment will yield multiple results. And 100% investment in Maya, zero result. Isn't it? So devotee understands how great is devotional service. So let me utilize my energy, my time properly to advance in devotional path. So we'll stop with this Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.